What's up, guys? Welcome back to the garage. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be working on the Drift ATV. So obviously that's what you came here for. That's what the thumbnail says. That's what we're gonna do. So last video we got this thing running around the neighborhood. It's got the 110cc, which is actually surprising for the power that it put off. These are torquey little high revving engines, so I love these engines. The carburetor is missing. I ended up giving that after I rode it. One of my neighbors, the kids, they rode it, had a little spill. They ended up rolling it, broke the lever off, and got a flat tire. So, which again, I'm replacing these tires and everything anyway, so not a big deal. They were okay, but they've got a four-wheeler. Been sitting for like 3 years, so I took the carb off, gave it to them. They're rocking and rolling. So what I want to do is go ahead and start tearing this thing apart, get all the tires off. They need washed anyway. Just kind of clean up everything, get it down to the bare bones. When I do that, I'm going to look at the Predator 212. I've got this 212 engine. I'm just keep going back and forth. If it'll fit, I don't mind doing a little welding and fab work. I'm fine with that. I don't know. I love these engines. I do. The wiring harness I hate. And then just just the starter and the battery and all of that. Definitely an engine I'll keep. I got a 125 over there. Keep this. These are super, super fun on mini bikes. So I'm considering picking up another like old school mini bike frame, putting the 110 on it. They rip. The one I had that had this engine, 125, that 125 engine on it with a small sprocket did like 50 something mile an hour. So we'll see. Let's get this thing torn apart and we'll just kind of go from there. I also have a bad tie rod. If you can see there, when I move it, you see that play? That's no bueno. So got to get some tie rods for this thing, get it, get it lined up, get new tires, wheels, and just button it up, get it. I'm going to clean up all of these welds, cut all this stuff, clean up all the frame, clean up the frame, all the unnecessary stuff we don't need, and have a little ripper. So, all right, so these are definitely a little more involved than just taking a mini bike apart, pulling pulling a 212 off of it. So got the wheels off. Just really starting to look and see what I have. I'm going to look at these tie rods. More than likely, there's 20 bucks for a pair, so I'm going to pull those and look at them. Continue to tear this thing apart. I've already got the exhaust loose. Some work on the engine. Work on the engine. All the wiring harness that I've zip tied and taped up. Get that off so I can pull the whole thing off. Yeah. Super cool. These things are awesome. If you can pick up one cheap like me, I paid 50 bucks for this thing, I'd highly recommend grabbing it. All right, guys, so as I suspected, in order to really, it will fit. So it will fit, but not with this bar. I'm gonna have to cut that brace for the for the 110. So it's kind of a commitment. If I do it and cut it, I'm going with the Predator. So it's like, if I don't cut it, I'm staying with the 110. I'm just trying to look and get an idea roughly where it needs to be. It still can come over probably an inch just to kind of line everything up. And then on the back side, I'm looking at clearing. It looks like it might be in the way, which is not a problem because what I could do is I could run a longer hose to a brake up on the handlebars, and that'd be just fine. It's just a hydraulic brake, so it's not that big of a deal. I'm worried about the small sprocket. It's like once I commit to this thing, I'm there. So I think the 212 would be sick, and I'm still kind of leaning that way. All right, so I went ahead and took the rear brake armature and everything off out of the way. And it's funny, as soon as I did that, I mean, this thing just fit in there perfect. I think it's going to be more than enough space there for my foot. It's going to be favoring the right side a little bit, but it does look like it's pretty darn close where it needs to be. I'll put a straight edge on it, obviously, but that looks pretty damn good. So I have space for my exhaust. Probably not gonna be able to run the full cover for that. Probably change the carburetor anyway down the road, so not really a big deal there. And yeah, that's one step closer. All right, so we got the engine back off. I went ahead and grinded down my bars and got my chain cut to length. So what I'm gonna do is get the engine back on the plate, get the chain on, pull everything tight to where I want it, clamp it, but also get my alignment, because it's already bolted down to the plate. So what I wanna do is get it set. I'm gonna tack it in, and then I'll pull the engine and weld it all up. But this way I know my bolts are gonna line up. I can get my tension and my chain alignment. So we'll go ahead and get that knocked out now. So yeah, so we've got the plate on, everything's welded up. We'll go ahead and kind of let it cool down, and we'll get the engine back on. Like I said, it sucks the tie rod was messed up, but you can get the tires and stuff back on, maybe test ride this. But what I wanna do is we'll get the engine on, chain on, throttle hooked up, and just see, run it through on the stand, see how the chain's gonna do. So let's get to that now. So we got all the wheels and everything back on, chains on, engines mounted, throttles hooked up. The only thing I need to do is get the gas tank on, and I think we're gonna be, and then run the exhaust. I'm just going to throw the stock one on upside down for now, just for time's sake. But let's see, I got a flat tire. Let's see if we can get this thing running. All right, guys, maiden voyage. Got the engine on, no rear brakes, it's not hooked up. Front brakes work, no handle. Exhaust is flipped upside down to fit. So, in angry mule fashion, let's send it. Turn it on. Gas is on. Worried about the gearing, but we'll see. I didn't have a flat tire. Yeah, flat tire is definitely not helping. Let's see what it'll do. Seems to be working just fine, so that's good. brakes, gotta fix that. Let's see what we did. 29.1. So 29.1, not bad. Wasn't really pushing it. Kind of scary with that front wheel being like it is, but heck yeah, maiden voyage. All right, guys, that's it. I'm going to end the video here. Please hit the bell, like, subscribe, share. We've got parts on order for the mini four-wheeler. So just a recap, we've got it mounted, we got it running down the road. It's a blast. We've got the torque converter coming, new seats, all kinds of parts, new wheels. Everything's been ordered, so we're gonna wait on that. That's gonna be a series we'll get into, and then we're gonna get it all painted up nice and take this thing drifting. A couple weeks from now, we're gonna be out to the OHV park on the Baja. I think I've mentioned that, so keep an eye out for that video. In addition, I've got another exciting addition to the garage. So we're still gonna build on the four-wheeler. We're still gonna do all of that, but I've got something special for you guys. I haven't seen much. I know Brian 636 did one. I've got a new project. I'm excited to show it to you. Let's dive into it. So we picked up this mini pocket bike, and I know guys are just chopping at the bit to get these wheels and tires. Frame, everything's there minus the engine, but I had an engine on stock. This is a brand new, never ran, little 49cc engine that came off another project. This will bolt right up. Nah, don't want to do that. That's not going to be any fun. But if you guys remember, we took the 110cc automatic off the four-wheeler, put the Predator on there, so we're gonna put the 110cc on this pocket bike. I've been looking at fairing kits and getting all the plastics for it. We're definitely gonna have to modify this frame and do that. So this is the 125. This is my mock-up engine. This one's with the bad transmission. So I'm going to start cutting and getting that in. But that is not for you guys. You'll have to stay tuned for that video. So hit that bell notification and yeah, look for that video. We'll see you on the next one, guys.